raise that limit without going out for another levy. The levy's still in place. So there's an opportunity there, and trying to work through that is going to take some real thoughtful analysis. And so I wanted to provide just some initial analysis to you and to the audience as well, that when we looked at that $1.50 per thousand rate, basically that would generate about $9 million or so per assessed value for the calendar year. Levies are collected on calendar year versus school year, so it gets really complicated with half and half. But just to kind of look at what happens when you raise that rate to $2, you can see that we could generate another $3 million for a calendar year, and then if we raise it another 50 cents up to $2.50 to that limit, now we're talking about $6 million. Again, that's all based on preliminary assessed value from the county, so the actual assessed value dictates what we can collect with that. So when you look at the levy as just one piece of the puzzle, the overall tax rate for schools, including that state and local levy, and we have a technology levy that we'll talk a little more about tonight later, and then also the state property tax. These are the amounts per thousand that our taxpayers would be paying. And then it shows the difference just for a $750,000 home, and we can analyze that all over, up and down, but it gives you kind of a ballpark of what that means for an individual constituent in our community. When we look at the school property taxes over time, and there's been a lot that's changed in these 3 years, so we've dramatically changed the model. And so we went from less local dependence to more state dependence, and so you see that spike in 2018 in the top row there of state school levy dollars, and then you see it coming down in 2019, and then going back up in 2020, and then I put those same three scenarios there, the $1.50, the $2, the $2.50, to kind of show the impact along the bottom line of what it would cost people in our community to support schools in the same way. And so that's really the decision point. I know, as Corey eloquently said, that revenue for schools has been something that we've really benefited from the support of this community for a long time. And I think we've benefited, one, because of the great staff that deliver amazing outcomes for kids, and two, because of the consistent leadership from our school board that have been really thoughtful about the messages that goes out to the community and that trust that happens. And in this situation, you as a school board didn't do anything to contribute to that fluctuation. That's the change in the model, but also trying to acknowledge that from a taxpayer standpoint, whether it goes to the state first and then comes to us or goes local, it's just all a tax, and that's something that when people are trying to make it month to month is a big concern. And so as we get more information and we can start to zero in on some of these rates, we will provide that to you through the board meetings and opportunities to get feedback about where should we land as a district with this. It's an important decision. And there's a short-term decision around this, but then there's also the election of February 2021, which is the next levy. And so we really need to make sure that as we make these decisions that we bring our community along with us, so that in that vote that they continue to support us the way that they have.
It's been quite a roller coaster for Camas Education Association members. We started the year on a high note by ratifying a historical salary agreement that competitively and professionally compensates educators. Those salaries will help recruit and retain high-quality teachers in our destination school district. The lower points of this year were experienced when the layoff language and transfer language of our current bargaining agreement were enacted. On paper, the prescribed steps are supposed to be the most fair method agreed upon in a most undesirable situation. In reality, the contract doesn't cover the anxiety, turmoil, and even fear when changes are made. Because of the modified educational program, one of my members is being involuntarily transferred to another school despite having 15 years experience in her current school. She wrote to me today and said, "I'm still in shock, and it hurts so badly to be the one staff member at my school to lose their position." Although the necessity of a true reduction in force didn't occur because of attrition through retirements and resignations, we still feel the impact of having, or will feel the impact of having less educators overall in 2019-20. There will also be several educators teaching new grades and or content areas as a result of reassignments and involuntary transfers. So therefore, the Camas Education Association implores the Camas School District Board and Administration to utilize appropriate voter-approved levy funds to restore cuts to our classrooms and buildings, providing the necessary supports to our students, schools, and employees from all our bargaining units, including our kindergarten para-educators who provide direct services to our youngest educators. Thank you.